Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome back to our channel once again. And it is my hope and prayer that the video is going to find you guys in good health. Personally, I am fine, as you can see. Kisumu is fantastic, and maybe you could also let me know where you are watching the video from. The county or the country for those who are out of the republic. Ladies and gentlemen, Rigathi Gachagua today suffered a major political blow after the High Court paved the way for Professor Kindiki's swearing-in ceremony, which, in my view, the government of William Ruto will rush very fast, either tomorrow, if not even at night today. For those who've been following Rigathi Gachagua's impeachment, the petition, on the 17th day of October, that's when Rigathi Gachagua was impeached. The next day, William Ruto nominated Professor Abraham Kindiki as the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya. Then, a court in Kerugoya issued some conservatory orders blocking Professor Kindiki's swearing in. And the reason why Rigathi Gachagua sought those orders was very simple. Rigathi Gachagua knew what William Ruto wanted to do by swearing in Professor Kindiki very fast. Because remember, the MPs were summoned very fast. Within a very short time, they had cleared Professor Kindiki. The next day, the swearing in was supposed to take place. The government of William Ruto, or William Ruto for that matter, wanted to rush the process for them to avert any legal action Rigathi Gachagua was going to take. Because, for example, if they had succeeded in swearing in Professor Kindiki the way they wanted, then in court they would have argued that Rigathi Gachagua's case had been overtaken by events. As a matter of fact, that was one of the arguments they were advancing. Number two, they also wanted to give Rigathi Gachagua power because the mountain felt that ziliguzwa. So they wanted to give Kindiki power so that, they just didn't want that office to remain vacant. So Rigathi went and sought for orders. And that's why up to now, we don't have a deputy president in the Republic of Kenya. So today the High Court made some two very important rulings. The first ruling was that the office of the deputy president cannot actually remain vacant.
The president is vacant. The specific constitutional functions assigned to that office remain unfulfilled. For clarity, not even the Speaker of the National Assembly may discharge the functions vested in the deputy president under Articles 147, Sub-Article 2 of the Constitution. In light of the above, we are convinced and hereby find that the current constitutional framework does not envision any scenario in which the office of the deputy president will remain vacant except during the brief period required to fill such a vacancy. Another equally important provision that adds credence to the above position that the office of the deputy president cannot be left vacant is Article 146(3) of the 2010 Constitution. However, before we interrogate the said provision, suffice to note that Article 150, Sub-Article 2 of the Constitution, which is on the removal of the deputy president, has it that the provisions of Articles 144 and 145 relating to the removal of the president shall apply with the necessary modifications to the removal of the deputy president.
And then the second ruling, which is going to form the basis of this analysis, was that those orders were set aside, which means Professor Kindiki will be sworn in. Of course, there is that window for appeal.
That this matter holds significant public interest, and we remain committed to an expeditious examination of the petitions. Therefore, we will further provide directions within this ruling. Consequently, the following orders are hereby issued. 1. The applications for conservatory orders are hereby disallowed. 2. The conservatory orders issued on 18th of October 2024 in Kerugoya High Court E015/2024 are hereby discharged and or set aside. Costs of these applications shall be incurred. We grant leave for appeal, typed proceedings and certified copies of this ruling to be availed to parties at cost or as it may be We will mention this matter on 7th of November 2024 at 2 p.m. in the open court. This ruling shall forthwith be uploaded in the court tracking system. That is the ruling of the court.
So in this video, I want to explain to you guys so that you can understand why the move to set aside those conservatory orders is a major blow to Rigathi Gachagua. But before you do that, for those who are watching this channel for the first time, please take a second or two, click the subscribe button so that next time we produce a video like this, YouTube will automatically notify you. And to the subscribers, I want to continue thanking you guys for your continued support. Because without that support, this channel cannot be where it is. Ladies and gentlemen, without any further ado, allow me to dive in. But again, before I dive in, it will be injustice to forget to thank the following people. You are seeing their names there for the coffee they sent to me earlier today. It goes a long way in supporting this channel. You can also do the same using the numbers you are seeing on your screen. Ladies and gentlemen, the first reason why I think it's a major blow to Rigathi Gachagua is because William Ruto wanted this swearing-in ceremony to slow down Rigathi Gachagua. Because, you know, Rigathi Gachagua was a deputy president, then removed, then they wanted to install a new deputy president, so on. The court said no. So as we speak, we didn't have a substantive deputy president. The moment Professor Abraham Kithure Kindiki will be sworn in, Rigathi Gachagua is going to be slowed down. Let me explain to you guys. In politics, there is always the say that there is no political vacuum. So the country will be moving. Professor Kindiki will be sworn in. He will be moving normally as a deputy president. And with the time, even the excitement in Rigathi Gachagua's camp will start slowing down. Even the judges will be influenced by the fact that already there is a new deputy president who is working. So it's going to slow down Rigathi Gachagua. As a matter of fact, without a deputy president, he still had some fighting chances. Although I've always said on this platform that there was no way. In fact, I made that tweet on that post on Twitter sometimes back, and people were like, Lee, you are not serious. The truth is, because on this channel we tell people the truth, there is no justice which Rigathi Gachagua is going to get in courts. All these things we are seeing are political processes. They are predetermined. If you've been following the rulings, there's no way Rigathi Gachagua can be losing almost everything is putting before the courts in this particular matter. There's no way. So it means it's already predetermined. There's a predetermined outcome. So it's a political process. So for me, it will slow down Rigathi Gachagua a bit. I know that there's a deputy president. I can guarantee you, William Ruto and his team will be okay. So that's number one. Number two, what William Ruto wanted to do initially, which he's going to do now, is that he wanted to gauge the ground reaction, especially in the mountain. How is the mountain reacting to the elevation of Professor Kithure Kindiki? So far, I think it's underwhelming. It's underwhelming, sorry. I don't see people really excited by the fact that Professor Kithure Kindiki has been nominated as the deputy president. In fact, there is that 2-core opinion poll, which you can check. And majority of Kenyans feel that there's nothing Kindiki is going to do which Rigathi could not do. So the thing is, they want to gauge the reaction. Because from those reactions, the government will be able to put in measures. Like, for example, there are areas Rigathi Gachagua was good at. Fighting for the rights or for the space of the mountain as shareholders in the government. Will Professor Abraham Kithure Kindiki fight for the shares of the mountain? And what term will they be using publicly? Because, you know, for the public, they want to hear you speaking. So that next time William Ruto will make appointments, and those appointments will reflect the face of Kenya. Then Rigathi Gachagua and the team will go to the ground and say, okay, you see, these guys have made appointments. Our share was this percentage, nothing to show for it. So in my view, they wanted to show, to gauge the ground reaction. Now that a new deputy president is going to be sworn in, now that Kindiki is going to be sworn in, it means William Ruto and the team can still now use it to gauge the ground. Number three, I think the government, or William Ruto for that matter, will now begin the process of selling Professor Kithure Kindiki as Mount Kenya kingpin. Because Rigathi told us, or the mountain told us, Mlima Eliguzwa. And the truth is, the ground has been hostile, especially to the members of parliament who voted to impeach Rigathi Gachagua. Can Kindiki change this? That's the biggest question they are asking themselves. How can they sell him on the mountain, in the mountain? Of course, William Ruto's strategy is also very simple. Divide the mountain into two. Have Mount Kenya East, have West. Begin with East. Sell him there. How will the Meru react to the appointment of Professor Kithure Kindiki? Of course, Tharaka Nithi, where he comes from, will be home. Maybe Embu, but West is where the challenge is. Because remember, in the mountain alone, and I'm coming to that point, in the mountain alone, there is a tug of war. There are members of parliament who voted for the impeachment of Rigathi, but are not happy that Mount Kenya East is being given that seat. So Ruto will begin the process of selling Kindiki. And I know this strategy. You know, there are those projects which they have lined up. Professor Abraham Kithure Kindiki will be going to the mountain across to try and launch them. The president will not go there because the ground is still too hostile for the president. So he will go there, start launching those projects. And by that, they can tell the people, you know, Rigathi was not working, Kindiki is now working, following up projects. So let us wait and see how that's going to happen. And number four, I think there's also the politics of Mount Kenya East and West. When this impeachment took place, most of you guys didn't know. Majority of members of parliament wanted Kimani Ichung'wah to take up that role. That is the honest truth. They wanted Ichung'wah to be the deputy president. But William Ruto wanted Kindiki because of several other factors, the character, the temperament of Kindiki, the experience, the composure, you know, coming from Mount Kenya East, the loyalty. So he wanted Kindiki. But members of parliament, especially those from Mount Kenya West, who are the majority, really pushed for Kimani Ichung'wah because they believed that Kindiki will not be able to deal with Rigathi Gachagua. And that Rigathi Gachagua is the one who now has the key for their re-election. So they wanted someone who can actually crush Rigathi. Now, you've removed a Kikuyu and you've placed a Tharaka. That internal politics is going to emerge in the mountain. And they'll say, no, that's not what we want. So they'll be able now to deal with it. And lastly, Ruto will now be able to drag Rigathi Gachagua and this court process. Remember, the original plan for Rigathi Gachagua, because Rigathi Gachagua already knew the outcome of this process. The only thing he wanted was to drag it as much as possible, even up to the Supreme Court, so that we are not going to have a deputy president. Now that there's a deputy president who is going to be sworn in, it means they can easily, the government itself, or William Ruto himself, can now be the one to drag the case. Because as much as they are dragging the case, time is running. As much as time is running, Kindiki is still the deputy president. Just like the Wambora case, remember how it dragged in court. It was still the governor, but the case dragged on until almost the end of the term. That's exactly what's going to happen here. So that by the time the courts will be pronouncing themselves on this matter, the term shall have come to an end. Probably people will be campaigning. That's exactly what now the advantage they have, because initially that was the wild card for Rigathi. Now it has shifted now to the other side. Ladies and gentlemen, that's my take. Until next time, this is Lee Makwiny. Let me ask you this question. If elections were to be held today, And this question is for those who've watched this channel up to this stage. And on the ballot, you have 4 people. Just get me right, you have 4 people. You have William Ruto. You have Fred Matiang'i. You have Kalonzo Musyoka. And you have Babu Owino. The 4. Who would you vote for as your preferred presidential candidate in 2027? Let us settle that matter by just saying Kalonzo, Ruto, Babu, Matiang'i. I'll be reading the comments and compiling that outcome. Until next time, this is Makwiny. Bye-bye.